Marcus' chin wiped the sweat from his forehead and stared at the broken drone in front of him. The desert sun of Kasara 7 was brutal today, even for someone who had lived on this mining planet for 5 years. He had come to the Crimson Waste to salvage parts from the crash survey drone. The colony needed every piece of equipment they could get. He was pulling out a power cell when he heard it. A sound that made his blood run cold. It was not quite a roar, not quite a cry. It was something in between, filled with pain and desperation. Marcus stood up and looked around the red rocky landscape. Nothing moved except the dust devils dancing in the hot wind. There it was again. Louder this time. Marcus grabbed his toolkit and followed the sound. He climbed over sharp rocks and slid down a sandy slope. The sound grew stronger, more urgent. He found himself at the entrance of a collapsed cave. Massive boulders had fallen, blocking most of the opening. But in the shadows something moved. Something big. Marcus activated his helmet light and stepped closer. What he saw made him freeze. A dragon. An actual dragon. But not like the ones from old Earth stories. This creature was real, alien, and magnificent. Its scales were pure white, almost glowing in the darkness. They shimmered with tiny electric pulses that ran across its body like lightning. The creature was at least 20 feet long, with wings folded against its sides. And it was trapped. A boulder the size of a transport vehicle had crushed the dragon's lower body. Its hind legs lay motionless beneath the rock. The creature's head turned toward Marcus. Its eyes were crystal blue, almost transparent. In those eyes, Marcus saw something he did not expect. Intelligence, fear, and a desperate plea for help. "Easy there, big guy," Marcus said softly, even though he knew the creature probably could not understand him. "Let me think." He ran back to his exoloader suit, the mechanical frame he used for heavy lifting at the mining colony. His hands shook as he climbed into it. The suit whined to life, its hydraulic arms extending. Marcus knew this was crazy. The Draktheri, as the colony database called them, were listed as dangerous predators. Colony rules said to avoid them at all costs. But Marcus had never been good at following rules he thought were stupid. He returned to the cave and began working. The exosuit strained as he lifted each boulder. The dragon watched him with those intelligent eyes, making soft sounds that almost seemed like words. After an hour of backbreaking work, Marcus finally moved the last rock. The dragon tried to move but could not. Its hind legs did not respond. They just lay there, twisted and broken. The creature made a sound that broke Marcus's heart. It was the sound of hope dying. "No, no, no," Marcus said. "Don't give up on me now." He carefully examined the dragon's injuries. The scales were torn and dark blue blood seeped from several wounds. But it was the spine that worried him most. He could see the damage even without medical equipment. The dragon was paralyzed. Marcus made a decision. He activated his comm link. "Chin to colony base. I need a medical transport to my location. Now." The voice of Administrator Wells crackled back. "Marcus, what have you found?" "Something that needs help," Marcus replied. "Be specific." Marcus looked at the dragon. Its eyes met his again. In that moment something passed between them. An understanding. A connection. "I found someone who needs help," Marcus said firmly. "Sending coordinates now." He spent the next hour carefully loading the dragon onto his cargo sled. The creature was too weak to resist. It simply watched him with those blue eyes as if trying to understand why this human was helping. Marcus did not have an answer. He just knew he could not leave it to die alone in the desert. Marcus managed to get the dragon back to his workshop before Administrator Wells could stop him. The large hangar space was normally filled with mining equipment and broken machinery. Now it held something far more extraordinary. The white dragon lay on the floor, breathing heavily. Its chest rose and fell with effort. Marcus worked through the night. He cleaned the wounds with medical supplies from the colony's emergency kit. The dragon's blood was strange, almost glowing in the dark. It was thick and moved like it had tiny electric currents running through it. The creature watched his every move but did not try to attack. It seemed to understand he was trying to help. "I'm going to call you Frost," Marcus said as he worked. "Because you're white as snow and because you're about as friendly as a winter storm right now." The dragon made a soft rumbling sound. Almost like a sad laugh. As Marcus examined the creature more closely, he noticed something incredible. Parts of Frost's body were not entirely organic. Beneath the scales he could see thin lines of metal and crystal. They ran along the spine like circuits. This was not just a dragon. This was a biomechanical being. Someone long ago had enhanced this creature with technology. The paralysis made sense now. The neural connections between Frost's brain and the mechanical parts were severed. The spine injury had broken more than bone. It had broken the entire communication system that let Frost control his body. Marcus's comm link buzzed. It was Administrator Wells. "Marcus, I'm coming to your workshop. We need to talk." 20 minutes later, Wells stood in the hangar with 2 security officers. She stared at Frost with a mixture of fear and disgust. "This thing needs to be put down," she said flatly. "We cannot waste colony resources on a dangerous animal, especially one that will never recover." "He's not an animal," Marcus shot back. "Look at his eyes. He's intelligent. He's someone, not something. The Drakthari are predators. Our database says they're highly dangerous." "Your database also said they were extinct," Marcus replied. "Clearly we don't know as much as we think." Wells crossed her arms. "I'm ordering you to euthanize it. That's final." "No." "Excuse me?" Marcus stood between Wells and Frost. "I said no. I'm not killing him. He deserves a chance." Wells's face turned red with anger. "Then you're relieved of duty. You have 12 hours to leave colony property." "Fine. I'm not leaving. This is my workshop. I built half of it myself." The standoff lasted for several tense seconds. Finally, Wells turned and left, her security officers following. "This isn't over, Chin," she called back. Marcus locked the workshop doors and returned to Frost. He pulled out his tablet and started searching through the colony's xenobiology database. He needed to understand Drakthari anatomy better. After hours of research, he jury-rigged a translation program. It was basic, meant for trading with alien merchants, but it might work. He placed the device near Frost's head and activated it. "Can you understand me?" Marcus asked. The dragon's eyes widened. Frost made a series of clicks and low sounds. The device struggled, then words appeared on the screen. "Why? Help me." Marcus felt his heart race. Communication. Actual communication. "Because you needed help," Marcus said simply. More clicks and sounds. "My people believe broken spine means death. Cannot be fixed." Marcus knelt down beside Frost's massive head. He looked directly into those crystal blue eyes. "Listen to me, Frost. I fix broken things. That's what I do. That's all I've ever done. I fix mining equipment, ships, robots, anything. I don't care what your people believe. I don't care what's supposed to be impossible." Frost made a sound the translator could not interpret. But Marcus saw something change in those eyes. A tiny spark of hope. "I promise you," Marcus said firmly. "I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make you walk again." Marcus barely slept for the next 3 days. His workshop became a laboratory. He pulled apart mining robots, drones, and even his own backup prosthetic leg. The parts spread across tables and floors. Frost watched everything with curious eyes, occasionally making sounds that the translator turned into questions. "What is that piece?" Frost asked one morning. "Neural connector from a mining drone," Marcus explained, holding up a small circuit board. "I think I can modify it to work with your biomechanical spine. See these crystals in your body? They conduct electric signals. If I can bridge the gap where your spine is damaged, the signals might flow again." Dr. Yuki Tanaka arrived at the workshop on the 4th day. She was the colony's xenobiologist, a small woman with sharp eyes and quick hands. She had heard about Marcus's project through colony gossip. "Let me help," she said simply, setting down her medical bag. Marcus almost cried with relief. "Wells will punish you for this." Yuki shrugged. "I became a scientist to help living things, not to follow stupid rules. Now show me what you have so far." Together they worked better than Marcus could alone. Yuki understood the biological side while Marcus handled the mechanical parts. They discovered that Drakthari neural pathways were similar to human ones but used bioelectricity instead of pure chemistry. The ancient technology in Frost's body was incredibly advanced, far beyond human engineering. "Whoever built this lived thousands of years ago," Yuki whispered in awe. "This is museum-quality work." But their work was interrupted on the 6th day. A sleek corporate ship landed at the colony. Men and women in expensive suits emerged. They represented Helix Biosystems, a massive corporation that specialized in alien technology. Their leader, a cold-eyed man named Director Stone, visited Marcus's workshop with Administrator Wells. "Mr. Chin," Stone said smoothly, "we understand you have a Drakthari specimen here. Helix Biosystems would like to purchase it for research purposes. We will pay you 50,000 credits." "He's not for sale," Marcus said flatly. 100,000. "No amount of money will change my answer. Frost is not property." Stone's smile disappeared. Then we will take legal action. That creature is on colony property. Administrator Wells has agreed to transfer custody to us. Marcus felt rage building in his chest. You want to cut him apart and steal his technology. We want to study him, Stone corrected. Think of the medical advances we could make. Get out of my workshop. Stone left, but his parting words were clear. We will have that creature. One way or another. That night, Marcus and Yuki worked faster. They knew time was running out. They built the neural bridge, a device that combined human medical technology with adapted Dractheri biocircuits. It was beautiful and terrifying. Silver threads mixed with organic crystals, all designed to replace the damaged section of Frost's spine. This could kill him, Yuki said quietly. The surgery is incredibly risky. Doing nothing will definitely kill him, Marcus replied. Either Helix will take him or his body will give up. At least this gives him a chance. Frost made a sound. The translator spoke. I trust you, my friend. Do it. The surgery took 8 hours. Marcus's hands shook as he carefully connected each tiny wire and crystal fiber. At one point, something unexpected happened. Frost's memories began flowing through the neural interface directly into Marcus's mind. He saw flashes of Frost's life. Soaring through purple nebulas. A beautiful city of crystal towers. Then darkness and destruction. Running. Hiding. Being hunted. Tears ran down Marcus's face as he worked. He understood now. Frost was not just a dragon. He was the last survivor of a dying race. Finally, the last connection was made. The neural bridge glowed softly with bioelectric light. It was working. The signals were flowing. But Frost did not move. He lay still, unconscious from the anesthesia. Now came the hardest part. Waiting. 3 weeks passed. Frost did not move his hind legs. Not even a twitch. Marcus checked the neural bridge every day. The device was working perfectly. The signals were flowing through it like they should. But something was not connecting. Frost's brain could not understand how to use the human technology mixed with his own biomechanical systems. Marcus grew quiet and tired. Dark circles appeared under his eyes. He stopped eating properly. Yuki brought him food, but most of it went uneaten. Maybe they were right, Marcus said one night, staring at his hands. Maybe some things really cannot be fixed. Meanwhile, Helix Biosystems was getting aggressive. Legal documents arrived daily. They claimed Frost was abandoned alien technology, not a living being. They said they had the right to take him for research. Administrator Wells was on their side now. The colony needed Helix's business contracts to survive. You have 1 week, Wells told Marcus during her last visit. Then we're opening those doors by force. Frost had been watching Marcus carefully. The dragon's translation device had improved over the weeks. They could have real conversations now. Marcus, Frost said one evening. You must stop this. Stop what? Stop trying to fix me. Stop sacrificing everything for something that will not work. My people were right. Paralysis cannot be healed. You have already given me more kindness than I ever expected from anyone. That is enough. Marcus felt anger flash through him. No. It's not enough. I made you a promise. Some promises cannot be kept, my friend. I do not want you to lose everything because of me. Let me go. Let them take me. At least my body might help other beings someday. Absolutely not. Marcus shouted. I don't give up. That's not who I am. I fix broken things, remember? I just need more time. Frost made a sad rumbling sound. There is no more time. Frost was right. That night everything changed. Marcus woke to the sound of his workshop doors being forced open. He jumped up and saw 6 armed mercenaries in Helix Biosystems uniforms entering. Director Stone walked in behind them, smiling coldly. I'm sorry it came to this, Mr. Chin, Stone said. But you've left us no choice. We're taking the specimen tonight. Like hell you are. Marcus grabbed a welding torch and ignited it. Get out. The mercenaries raised their weapons. Stun guns designed not to kill but to paralyze. One of them fired. The bolt hit Marcus in the shoulder and he fell to his knees, his muscles seizing up. Careful with the dragon, Stone ordered. I want it intact. 2 mercenaries approached Frost with a cargo net. The dragon's eyes went wide with fear and rage. He opened his mouth and roared. It was a sound of pure fury. His front claws scraped against the floor. His tail thrashed wildly, trying to defend himself, trying to protect Marcus. And then it happened. Frost's tail did not just thrash randomly. It moved with purpose. It moved the way Frost wanted it to move. Everyone froze. Frost's eyes went wide. He looked at his tail in shock. Then he looked at his hind legs. Slowly, trembling with effort, they twitched. Just a small movement. But it was movement. The neural bridge blazed with light. Electric currents ran through the crystals like wildfire. Frost's brain had finally figured it out. After weeks of trying, something in that moment of desperate need had made the connection. "Marcus," Frost's translator spoke. "I can feel them. I can feel my legs." Marcus, still paralyzed on the floor, felt tears streaming down his face. Frost's legs shook violently. With tremendous effort and a roar that shook the walls, Frost pushed himself up. His hind legs wobbled like a newborn animal. But they held his weight. The mercenaries backed away slowly, their weapons forgotten. Frost fully stood for the first time in months. The mercenaries ran from the workshop. Director Stone stumbled backward, his face pale with shock. Frost took one shaky step forward, then another. He fell twice but pulled himself back up each time. Marcus watched from the floor, still unable to move from the stun bolt but smiling through his tears. Yuki rushed in minutes later and helped Marcus to his feet. His muscles slowly came back to life. The first thing he did was walk to Frost and place his hand on the dragon's white scales. "You did it," Marcus whispered. "You actually did it." "We did it," Frost corrected through the translator. "Together." The next few weeks were filled with rehabilitation. Marcus built custom leg braces to support Frost while his muscles remembered how to work. Every day Frost grew stronger. The wobbling became steady walking. The steady walking became running. Marcus had to expand the workshop just to give Frost enough space to move. News of the miracle spread across the colony, then across the communication networks that connected human and alien worlds. A paralyzed Dractheri had walked. Something impossible had become possible because of a stubborn human mechanic. 1 month after Frost's first steps, 3 ships appeared in Kasara 7's orbit. They were beautiful vessels made of crystal and metal, unlike any human design. They landed near the colony, and from them emerged creatures that looked like Frost. Dragons with scales of different colors, silver, gold, deep blue. But none were as pure white as Frost. The eldest dragon, her scales the color of starlight, approached Marcus's workshop. Her name was Sereth, and she spoke through a translation device far better than Marcus's homemade version. "We felt Frost's biosignature reactivate across the stars," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "We thought we were the last of our kind. We thought he was dead. But you brought him back. You did what we believed was impossible." She bowed her head to Marcus. A gesture of deep respect. "Our civilization fell 10,000 years ago," Sereth continued. "We lost the knowledge to repair our biomechanical systems. No paralyzed Dractheri has walked since then. Until now. Because of you." Marcus felt overwhelmed. "I just did what anyone should do. I helped someone who needed help." "No," Sereth said firmly. "You did what no one else would do. You saw a broken creature and refused to give up. You are a true healer." Helix Biosystems tried one more time to claim Frost and the technology. But with the Dractheri present and the entire galaxy watching, they had no choice but to retreat. Marcus freely shared all his designs and research with Sereth and her people. He refused payment, refused patents, refused everything. "This isn't about profit," he told them. "This is about fixing what's broken." 2 weeks later, Frost stood at the edge of a cliff outside the colony. His wings spread wide, catching the desert wind. Marcus stood beside him. "Are you sure about this?" Marcus asked nervously. "I have to try," Frost replied. "I need to know if I can truly fly again." Frost leaped from the cliff. For one terrible moment he fell. Then his wings caught the air. He wobbled, dipped dangerously low, but then soared upward. His movements were not perfect, not graceful like they once were. But he was flying. Marcus cheered from the cliff, tears running down his face. Frost circled back and landed gently beside Marcus. He lowered his head until his forehead touched Marcus's. A Dractheri gesture that meant eternal friendship and gratitude. "Come with me," Frost said. "Come see the galaxy. There are others like me who need help. Others who have given up hope. You can fix them too." Marcus looked back at the colony. Then he looked at the stars above. He thought about all the broken things in the universe waiting to be fixed. All the impossible problems waiting for someone stubborn enough to solve them. "Let me pack my tools," Marcus said with a grin.